so that it will be a fair scheme for everybody. Yan lang gusto ko tanungin. Kasi ito si Gordon nagmamalinis eh. Akala mo walang ginawang plenty. We will start also with your record as a public official. Plenty. Yang Red Cross na yan. I think that you will not be able to explain. Ito lang. If there is an honest to goodness examination of the book of records and the audit of the past years, and we will review if it reflected really the real actuations of you and the others there in the Red Cross, I'm sure that we will find something. And we believe that you are also guilty of, well, sabihin mo ng malversation, well, tell us. We would be happy to know kung meron o wala. Salamat, Mr. Gordon.
President Duterte wants the Commission on Audit to investigate the Philippine Red Cross, despite the fact that the PRC is an independent and autonomous non-government organization. President Duterte insists the PPEs procured by the Budget Department were not overpriced. The DBM slashed the Health Department's budget for next year, including the supposed funding for benefits of medical frontliners. The Octa Research Group is calling for an extension of the Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine, or MECQ, in Metro Manila, as new cases of the Delta variant continue to spike. And let's take a look at this Filipino animated short film that has bagged multiple awards abroad. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. President Rodrigo Duterte demanded an audit of the Philippine Red Cross after accusing its chairman Dick Gordon of using the organization as a milking cow. The president may have forgotten that the PRC is a non-government and non-profit agency that cannot be audited by the COA. Duterte, who has not publicized copies of his SAL-N since 2018, said Gordon can also look into his books in return.
The money that you have accumulated all these years would run into billions, at ang gusto kong makita yung audit talaga ng totoo ng Red Cross. And maybe I will demand, the Executive Department will demand that we furnish a copies of your audit taken by COA, and COA to give us the copy so that we can review also what you have audited at tingnan ba namin kung tama o hindi.
The chief executive said Gordon's biggest fault was temporarily refusing to help the government in its COVID testing. This after PhilHealth had accumulated millions of pesos in debt to Red Cross. Duterte also said he will look into the senator's records as a public official to look for evidence of malversation of public funds.
At the time when we were busy testing everybody at humingi kami ng tulong sa inyo, Red Cross. Red Cross is supposed to be a humanitarian organization. But when government was struggling to source funds, you threatened to stop testing. Alam mo, ginagamit mo itong Red Cross. And I dare say na ginamit mo talaga ito para sa elections. Ito yung milking cow mo eh. Sa totoo lang. You have been there for quite a time. Is it not fair to say now that bumitaw ka na and give others a chance at para mahinto na yung ginagawa mong kalokohan.
President Duterte insists that the surgical masks and PPEs bought by the Budget Department's procurement service were not overpriced. Duterte explained that it was only normal for the price of protective equipment to be more expensive at the start of the pandemic due to supply constraints. He also raised the issue of the previous administration buying more expensive PPEs even without a health crisis.
If you compare the prices of the mask and the PPEs, personal protection equipment, ikumparar mo yan ngayon, noon, tapos sabihin mo isang presyo lang gusto mo. At the height of the pandemic when it began, we had nothing. Wala tayo. Kaya we had to look for the gadgets, the PPEs and the mask wherever we can. And there was no supply kasi bigla ang putok ng pandemic. So ang presyo na yon mataas. Kasi kung kukunti lang kasi ang supply because manufacturers were just producing it at the time, mahal talaga. Kasi walang supply. So agawad.
The chief executive then slammed the Senate once again as lawmakers continue their probe against the health department. Duterte insisted that it is the prerogative of the DOH on how they will spend their funds, and he also repeated his plea to allow his officials to complete their projects first before they're judged.
DOH is planning so many things to fight the COVID. At bakit mo naman pakialaman na ito may pera dito, bakit hindi pa ito nagastos? Why are you trying to run the Department of Health with your investigation? Kayo na ang gustong magpatakbo kasi nagtatanong na kayo kung bakit ito hindi pa nagastos.
There's no end in sight for the struggle of the country's medical frontliners. Health Secretary Francisco Duque bared that next year's budget will not have any allocation to fund healthcare worker benefits. Marian Enriquez with the story.
The Health Department initially proposed a budget of 74 billion pesos for COVID-19 response in 2022. But the Budget Department reduced it to just over 19 billion pesos, affecting the allowances of healthcare workers. This was revealed by Health Secretary Francisco Duque III during the agency's budget hearing at the House of Representatives.
Can you confirm that po? Walang SRA budget sa NEP 2022. Ang sinasabi ninyong dahilan ay dahil hindi po inapprove ng DBM.
Tama po kayo, next year, wala po.
Duque says that some 50 billion pesos was initially allocated for the benefits of healthcare workers. The proposed budget also includes funds to support hospitals as well as allocations for the hiring of vaccinators and surveillance officers. This also includes the acquisition of oxygen needs and other expenses. But according to Duque, the DBM might have thought that the situation will improve.
We were hoping that once we reach the herd immunity and vaccinate at least about 77 million of our people, baka naman po ang sitwasyon ay talagang sadyang mas maging maayos.
But the World Health Organization itself said the pandemic might last for 2 more years. With a 73% reduction in budget, Duque said they're banking on the passage of a Bayanihan 3 to fund benefits for medical frontliners. But Marikina Representative Stella Kimbo finds this problematic.
At ang inaasahan po ninyo ay Bayanihan 3, which unfortunately is just a bill. At this moment, hindi pa siya batas. And just in case po maging batas po siya, wala pong itemized appropriation para sa SRA doon.
Kimbo then asked Duque if there are least priority programs where they can realign the budget.
We're looking at the butika ng barangay, but that is not substantial. It's less than, I think about less than 3 or 400 million, but it will help.
The budget cut did not sit well with the Filipino Nurses United, saying it will lead to more demoralized personnel.
Dapat ang focus ng pamahalaan ay ang kalusugan at ang welfare ng mga health workers. Dahil ang pandemya na to ay tuloy-tuloy.
Duque says they are eyeing the submission of amendments to fund other items cut from the proposed budget. Lawmakers, meanwhile, sought for Duque's commitment not to transfer any funds to the procurement service of the DBM. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
The OCTA research team is calling for an extension of the MECQ in the capital region amid the rapid increase in Delta variant cases. Greg Gregorio with the story.
Kyla and her family have tested positive for COVID-19. They suspect that they got the virus from her husband Gerald, who was exposed to a probable COVID-positive employee at their milk tea shop.
Yung mga kasama niya daw po sa bahay, nilalagnat na po. Tapos po, pumasok pa rin po siya.
Their parents were moderate and critical cases. They had also spread the virus to 4 other family members who lived in a separate house.
Bumisita po sila dito. So lahat din po sila dun sa bahay nila nagkaroon.
Luckily, all of them survived. Even though they got vaccinated after recovering, they are now extra cautious.
Kung dati takot kami, ngayon kasi mas parang mas lumala po yung takot po namin. Kung sa milk tea shop po, hanggang ngayon po hindi pa rin po namin siya binubuksan ulit.
The health department earlier warned that COVID-19 transmission is faster now due to the presence of the Delta variant.
Exponential ang kanyang increase. Kasi kung halimbawa, meron ka lang sabihin mo na 5 positive patients doon sa inyong lugar, kapag nakapanghawa siya, you will multiply that already by 5 or 8. No?
The DOH has also recommended that families wear masks even at home. LGUs have also been urged to implement granular lockdowns in areas where cases are up. Despite the reproduction rate in NCR decreasing, the OCTA research group reminds the public not to be complacent as trends may be reversed. The group is even proposing to extend the MECQ period for 2 more weeks.
We need to focus the next 2 weeks on expanding hospital capacity. It's not just beds and ventilators, it's really hospital, healthcare workers.
The Philippine Genome Center also said that all regions in the Philippines have detected Delta variant cases, with the BARM recently reporting 2 Delta cases.
Yeah, so we have for the Bangsamoro, they were collected July 24. With the onset date of July 17 for 1 case, and then there's another one from Lanao also.
So far, the Philippines has recorded over 1,700 Delta variant cases. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
A short film created and fully funded by a Filipino animator just bagged several awards in the global scene. Faith Del Mundo with the details.
A Pinoy animated short film just took home back-to-back international awards. Zachary Conlu Stella just won Best Composer at the Toronto Indie Shorts in Canada and Best Soundtrack at the Riala Film Festival in Italy. The 12-minute tale tells a story of a lost girl and a falling star. The girl helps the star return to the night sky and they discover the power of kindness and friendship in the process. Zachary shares the feat with musical scorer Pauline Villanueva and sound designer Anthony Tobias.
I was in shock, but super grateful. Wow, I'm so thankful for trusting me and working with them with the project.
To be able to get that far with just the 3 of us, really, really proud talaga. That's all I can say. Like, I didn't expect anything.
But their sweet victory didn't come easy. Zachary told News 5 they worked on Tela on and off for 2 years. He had funded the project with his own money.
Passion project so bakit ko ba kailangan tapusin? Wala namang bayad.
Fresh off their win, Zachary's team plans to create more animated features, but he's hoping that the country would support them as well as other small-time animators.
Sana magtuloy-tuloy. Maraming talent dito in terms of animation, filmmaking. Hindi sila nabibigyan ng attention unless manalo ka ng prestigious awards.
For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again later at 10 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.